Hey, welcome back to the channel, folks. So we've got a new little project here. We had a neighborhood cleanup here about a week ago and happened to see a little mini bike sitting on the side of the road. So a free little mini bike. And what caught my eye is it had a Honda engine on it. Red with the white gas tank. And I looked at it in 1995. And it's a Honda GS 160, and I'm sorry I just got around to making a video. Now I've disassembled and I cleaned most everything except for the frame, and got a lot of parts. Got the chain and the ultrasonic right now, but yeah, this little thing, I cleaned it all up and went through it. I didn't change any of the seals, I didn't do any of the rings or anything like that. Drained the oil, seafoamed it and everything like that, and cleaned all the filters, went through the carb, and cleaned out the gas tank. Gas tank isn't rusted or anything like that. Looking real good down in there. And clean that little filter, that little pickup tube filter. And got good seal here. And yeah, it's got the stock muffler. It's missing the air cleaner and the air filter. But you know, it's got the little Coleman throttle, like the Coleman CU100s, I think they were back in the day. So I have stepped across a whole new threshold of Google searches and YouTube videos. Apparently about a year, maybe 2 years ago, people started getting these mini bikes and they started building dragsters out of them and trying to make it the fastest mini bike. And this thing is exactly 30 years old, 1995, and we're in 2025 right now. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what this is. I think it is a Reynolds Arco clone, but it's Japanese. And the reason I'll show you just a minute, the reason I think that. It's got a Coleman style throttle and Coleman style mini bike throttle and everything like that with the grips. But it's got the clamp on foot pegs. It doesn't have the frame foot pegs. It's got the single mount plate for the engine. The handlebars don't have, they're painted black for some reason, but they don't have any fenders anywhere on there. And there's no spring, chain tensioner on there. It doesn't even have a kickstand. And the way the bottom frame is kind of, I guess, made rigid is with the rear wheel axle. So, like I said, I disassembled everything and I went through it and cleaned it as much as I can. I'm about to take this out and get it outside and go over it with our little paddle brush here. But the goal with this is to get it back running, get it back to what it was like vintage, brand new 30 years ago. Now, one of the things, obviously, I'm not going to be able to reuse the hand grips, and I'll show you those in just a minute. But we're going to use all of the leftover parts that we had and leftover materials that we had from some of our other projects. And I've got some Fire Engine Red Krylon Fusion paint. I think I'm going to go real nice with this frame. And I don't know what color that is. It's like a lavender kind of stuff. And I think it has been repainted. Obviously, you know, the forks here, and there's some overspray that I found from this frame on some of the stuff that I ultrasonic. But let's jump over here and I'm going to show you the grips. It's got the Coleman style 3-prong or 3-mount bolts for the seat. And it looks like that's exactly 12 inches. So just a standard old Coleman clone, I guess, but with a Reynolds Arco type frame. So anybody out there watching this, if you know what this is, by all means, hit me up in the comments. I think it is just a standard old Japanese clone mini bike, but you know, 30 years old, it's got to be worth something, right? So check this out. The foot pegs, they're actually stamped Japan. And they've got the little detent in there, you know, the little spring detent to hold them together. Those will clean up real nice. And then, you know, all the bolts and everything I've got out of the ultrasonic. I got the chain in there right now. And I don't think we're going to be able to reuse that. So, but check out these old grips. Remember these old school things off the Honda three-wheelers, four-wheelers back in the day in the 80s and stuff. They had these, you'd ride those and they would just, vibrate, and then pretty soon you'd take your hand off and it'd be like a waffle pattern. These were absolutely awesome because they fill up with mud and grit and grime and just a little bit of water, and you'd still have your grip on there. They don't make them like this anymore. They don't have those ridges or anything like that. I can't find those anymore. And this is the throttle side. The cables are in real good shape, and it's got that drum brake. But check out the wheels. Aluminum, and they cleaned up real nice out of the ultrasonic. So these will polish up real nice. And the bearings are in good shape. And, there's your drum brake there. Clean that up a little bit. But it's got just the standard, 4-inch on the front, 5-inch in the front, 6-inch in the back, just standard old go-kart wheels, and they are pneumatic, so they got their inner tube in there and everything like that. It's a cool little thing. But, I just, for the life of me, I can't figure out what this is. I looked everywhere, and there are some, I guess the brand name is Predator, and then there's a Hornet. I think they still make one that looks exactly like this. It's called a Hornet, off a go-kart and a mini bike supply place. But yeah, couldn't believe it. Free little thing sitting on the side of the road. We're going to see, I'm going to budget $50 for this. So $50 includes all the leftover materials. So I've got some 10W30 oil, my seafoam I had left over. I've got some lawnmower gas over there we'll use. We've got our ultrasonic, some Dawn dish soap in there, works fabulous. And then about the only thing is that chain. I'm not sure how much that chain is. And then I'm going to have to get a new grip because I had to cut one off on the brake side. But I think I can get a Coleman mini bike seat for about $10-15 off of Amazon and slap that on here and call it good. And then we'll have a brand new restored, well, brand new to me anyway, restored little mini bike. Cool little thing. I think this thing is, what, a 5.5 horsepower or something like that. It's got the oil level cut off. Oil alert. When engine oil was low, engine stops immediately. And that's this and the little sensor that goes in there. And then this is it's got a governor on here. Inside the engine, gear driven. And then you've got your reduction here, and you've got your transmission oil. And then you got your oil fill over there, but it's a OHV. It's got the original exhaust. And like I said, it's missing the air cleaner and air filter. But I went through the carburetor, went through all the jets, the emulsion tube, everything like that, cleaned that all up. That gas in there was probably about 10 or 15 years old. It was just gum. And man, it stunk like something fierce. So I'm out here in the garage trying to clean it with that Dawn dish soap in there, trying to get the smell out of the air. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to get it on the sawhorses. I'm going to get my little paddle wheel, and I'm going to buff this down, get it, and I'm going to get our Honda Red Fire Engine Krylon Fusion paint. It's primer and paint all in one. We'll go over this frame and the forks, and then we'll get to slapping this thing back together. So sorry, like I said, I took this thing apart. I didn't think it was going to be anything. I was mainly, it's got a good engine, right? And these engines are on everything from a soil tamper, the vibration plate, to a power washer, go-karts, mini bikes. They just standard old Honda engine. These things last forever. There's, they really good, interchangeable parts everywhere. The parts are cheap, and everything on this seems like it works. It's just missing one little part. And then I think, let me see if I can spin. You got your drain plug for both the transmission and the engine oil, but it does have, it's missing the cover for the clutch on this side. So let's see if I can find that. And then I've got some gloss black paint. I think we can go over this because that does look a little rusty. And we'll clean that up a little bit. But other than that, the axle's cleaned up really nice and clean, and used our paddle brush on it, and ultrasonic and everything like that. And then we'll get these soaking in some oil and get them all shiny and bright and make sure we don't get any flash rush. I just took those out. I'm waiting on them to dry. And I don't think that's going to clean up very well, but you know, hey, it's vintage, so we'll get that rust off of there. And then obviously that's not the original screw that went to it. Might have to buy another brake cable and handle. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat, you know. 30-year-old little mini bike here. So back at you, and if anybody out there in the comments could let me know what this is, I'd appreciate it. There's no serial number anywhere on here, no markings, no fenders, nothing. It's just a little mini bike with a pretty beastly motor on there. So yeah, we're stepping over a whole new threshold here. We might be putting some chrome straight pipe on this thing, and maybe some solid wheels, make us a little drifter bike, and we'll see what we can do. All right, 5.5 horsepower. We'll get it up to about 30 miles an hour, baby. Talk to you soon. Hey, hit me in the comments if you know what that is. Thanks.